Welcome back. We've got another great interview on the Great Rubino. I'm here with Mike Kaufman of Better Bounce, we're going to get into all of his story, a basketball story, in just a moment. But Mike, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. I appreciate you having me on. This is awesome.
And you're out in California, right?
I'm actually down here in Miami right now, but I'm usually based in New York City, and I'll be back in New York City in June.
Awesome. It seems to like most of your videos that the sun is always shining.
Can you hear me?
So I had two choices. That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about what put you sort of on the map, which you played at Lesley University, but then in 2014, you were a part of this ESPN dunk contest. Tell us a little bit about how that happened and the experience that you had.
Yeah, so basically, the college dunk contest is every year, and usually it's just Division I players. But in recent years, they had this like dark horse dunker that they would pick from like either Division II or Division III, and it would basically how it would work is it'd be like a virtual digital like voting situation. So once I found out about this, I was trying to enter, and being from a small college, I played Division III basketball, so to be able to be on a dunk contest ESPN was a dream. So I ended up, being in this online contest and saw a decent amount of success. I did get eliminated and didn't end up in the actual dunk contest, but it got a lot of buzz, and I got eliminated by like a smaller level Division I basketball player who ended up winning the dunk contest in real life. So it was definitely cool, being on that national scale and being able to showcase my talents a little bit, but definitely still a little upset I never got to get out there and give it a shot.
So, but you did end up playing professional basketball afterwards. You went over to Israel. Tell us a little bit about that experience playing over in Israel. And you told me a little earlier, you call it a second home. Why was it so important in your career?
Yeah, so I had a really unique experience coming from a small college. Being a Jewish American, I had the opportunity to get my dual citizenship over in Israel. And I don't know if your listeners understand like how basketball works overseas, but basically, depending on what league you play in, there's only a certain amount of foreign players allowed on each roster. So, like for example, like the Premier League in Israel, like where Maccabi Tel Aviv plays, they can have I believe it's four foreign players, and usually those foreign players are Americans. That either are not just on the cusp of being NBA players or whatever. So I played in the second division in Israel, and you're only allowed 2 foreign players. So, having that Israeli passport, helped me a little bit, not have to compete against some of the more big time players. But at the same time, like you are taking a job away from an Israeli player. So it definitely can be a little tough at times. So basketball wise, it was a little bit up and down, but I was fortunate enough to be able to live in Tel Aviv, experience the city, experience all the cultures there. I got really close to a particular Israeli family. So I had just an amazing experience. And, to this day, like my 2 favorite cities are definitely New York City and Tel Aviv. And I don't think that'll ever change. So whenever I can get back to Israel, I try. It's not the easiest trip to make, but I definitely, I'm always thinking about, going back and doing different things. And I've gotten a chance to go back for work and different things in the past couple of years, which has been great.
It's amazing that you said New York and Tel Aviv, whereas you're sitting in Miami, and how the only way I can explain Tel Aviv to people is like, have you been to Miami? That's what Tel Aviv looks and feels like. So maybe that's why you are in Miami, because you get some of that feel.
Yeah, I'll be honest though, I don't think Miami even compares to Tel Aviv, because like Miami's still like it's on the beach, but it's still like you still like need a car, and like it's spread out, and it's just kind of it's like and it's like weird between like Miami Beach and like on the bay, whereas like Tel Aviv, it's like more compact and small. You can walk everywhere. There is culture here in Miami, but it just feels you feel like you're in a European city or Middle Eastern city. It's just a little more special, and like I just like the convenience of being able to walk places. So it has that convenience of walkable like New York City, but yeah, you're on the beach and it's paradise most of the time. So it's really incredible.
Amazing. So let's dive in. You talked about dual citizenship, which means you had some sort of Jewish life before you went over to Israel. Tell us a little bit about your Judaism growing up, and I know you connect today a lot through Israel, but what was that experience like, and why was it meaningful for you to go overseas to play?
Yeah, so I mean, growing up, we were not the most religious family. We did carry on, a lot of the Jewish traditions and holidays. And I was always proud to be Jewish, but it wasn't really until I was in my teens where I started playing Maccabi, like in the youth programs they have here in America, integrated into Jewish community. And it was really great playing Maccabi as a young kid. I won a bronze medal and a gold medal, and was on some great teams and had some great coaches that I still and teammates that I still talk to today. So it's just one of those experiences that was amazing. And then I went on my birthright trip, another amazing. Anyone who's Jewish, you got to get over there and take that trip. It's too good. It's too good not to do it. So on top of that, and then I'm trying to think. And then, so when I went to go play in Israel, it was just that much more. You get to, when you're experiencing the Jewish holidays and traditions in Israel, it's different than America. Like you realize, you're like, wait a minute, like Hanukkah is like the biggest one here, but it's like not like that in Israel. So you get the true authentic aspect of it. And it's just special, Shabbat dinners on Fridays. I didn't grow up having Shabbat dinners. I grew up having a lot of family dinners, but having it more Shabbat. So it's traditions that I'll definitely carry on when I have kids one day for sure.
Awesome. So I found you really through Instagram and just sort of watching your stuff, not just your dunks, but what I love is and I told you this earlier, I think you've become like this master street baller, which maybe it's my being naive, but I feel like that is an art, and it's a totally different game, I think, than playing in an organized system or organized basketball. Let's say whether it's high school, college, or professional. But it has its own sort of culture, and you seem to have found a niche. So tell us a little bit about like why you're playing so much street ball. That's one, and two, like where is the game of street ball today? I sort of felt like when I was growing up, do you remember the and one traveling group, right? I felt like, I don't want to say they killed street ball, but they basically took street ball and professionalized it. So it changed that game. So maybe tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely grew up watching AM1, and I mean, it was crazy. I mean, they were in NBA arenas. It was legit. I do feel like there is a product there that isn't tapped into right now. But yeah, as far as me, like, you know, I decided to come back from Israel and pursue a career in media, in sports media, and I work my full time job at Overtime, and we're one of the biggest like up and coming sports media companies to date. And so just kind of working in the social space, working in the content space, like it was only right for me to take my skills of video editing, social media, and basketball and try to combine it somehow. So, I created my own brand called Better Bounce, and basically the mission for Better Bounce was to try to help young athletes, help Jewish athletes, get better at their sport, and doing it at scale through content, through online programs, where I could reach, hundreds of thousands of people, and kind of do it my way instead of the traditional coaching way, which is more, in-person grassroots, which obviously I'm not talking down about that. We need that, but to be able to use my skills and also keep my basketball career alive a little bit as well. So it's really, checked off all the boxes for me, and it's been great. I actually started Better Bounce when I was in Israel back in 2015, from zero, and now almost at 90,000 followers on Instagram, which has been really, 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 really cool. And yeah, like a lot of my content is like breaking down moves, showing different workouts. And then, yeah, sometimes it's me playing, uh, you know, at a random court. I love the game. I do play 1 or 2 times a week now that, I'm fully vaccinated from COVID. And, it's been so fun to be back on the court here playing pickup games in Miami. And I'm looking forward to, the basketball scene in New York this summer. It should be really, really fun.
Where are some of those like hidden gem games where, we know about some of the big spots and those courts have been redone or shown in a movie? Is there a spot or two where you go where just like the pickup games are just dynamite?
Um, so I mean, back before COVID, I had a really good situation in Manhattan. I was playing at Equinox. It's like a nice gym in Manhattan, and we had a really good group of guys that would play Saturday and sometimes Sunday mornings. Just like all like former college players and guys working in the city, that just love the game. which was a really great run that I'm hoping I can get back to. But here in Miami, I've been playing at Margaret Pace Park in Edgewater, and basically it's like this beautiful court on the bay, and it's just a good group of guys. And it's like the same guys that are always out there playing, and I feel like, it's just a, and it gets competitive in a, it's just nice, we all, I'm sure everyone's working, and it's just, it's like our little vice, after a long day or after a long week to get out there and run. And yeah, I mean, it's all about, the community, and I really enjoy getting out there, and it's cool seeing the difference, from New York to Miami. I played pickup games in Paris, in different places. Basketball, it's such a worldwide sport now. So it's really special. It's really awesome.
And where can people find you on social media, or they want to get in touch?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm on Instagram at Better Bounce, and then I'm also on TikTok. At my handle's different. It's at Overtime Mikey, and I've seen I post a lot of different content on there too, and have had some really cool growth on there. So I mean, you can always shoot me a DM on Instagram. I get back to everyone, whether it's about basketball question or a career or life question. Definitely can hit me there, and I'll get back to you.
Awesome. Mike, thank you so much for your time. It was great hearing your story.
Nah, appreciate it, man. Keep doing what you're doing.